You were just saying in the van, you know, Manchester, Vodafone have put on a fantastic event for Manchester today, and you were just blown away by the amount of people that have braved all the elements to come here.
Yeah, you know, at the Grand Prix, at the British Grand Prix, you expect to have a lot of fans being British, but coming here, you don't know what to expect. But when I first went out in just a road car and saw how many people, it's fantastic, it really is. So thank you all so much for the support. Thank you so much. And Formula One's pretty big up here then.
I think they like it, yeah. But what a great thing to be able to bring Formula One to places where Formula One doesn't exist, and I think that's one thing that's happened here today.
Yeah, you know, I've only ever driven a Formula One car on the streets in London. That was ages ago. And now we're here in Manchester. I think we've got to say a big thank you to Vodafone VIP for making this happen and giving us the opportunity to have this show. And for me, it's as much fun as it is for you guys, you know, driving a Formula One car away from work. This is just everyone's dream, eh? Every child is, you know, every kid's dream. So yeah, I'm very lucky.
Jenson, we've had some questions from the guys down here, so I'm just going to go through some of the things I want to know. So question number one is, what car would you go out and buy if you could right now?
Oh. I drive for McLaren. What am I doing? I actually don't need to. Do you say gee whiz? It's good, environmentally friendly, I like that. I've actually got a McLaren MP412C, the same as that silver car that was flying around. So you know, it's pretty awesome. But I also like my old cars. I've got an old Porsche that I love from the 1970s, so that's one of my favourites. But you know, I don't ever drive on the roads. You know, this is one of the only times I've driven in the UK this year. So, and it's in a Formula One car. So, I tell you one thing I did see the other day, which I thought was amazing in London, was a go-kart on the road. Can you believe it? Did you know that one of these things, if you put wheel covers on it, get it licensed, there's some lights on it, you can MOT that, get it out there and drive around the streets.
Watch what the craze will happen through Manchester next week.
I tell you what, I was shocked, but great.
Surely one of the best cars you drive is the Vodafone McLaren Mercedes Formula One car. You said it was one of the best cars you've ever driven yesterday in the press release.
Yeah, but you know, that's a work car, isn't it? You know, that's on a lease.
Right, question two. Can you or will you describe the Canadian Grand Prix? What did that mean to you? How did that feel?
Almost as good as that did. How long you got? It's one of those races that you'll never forget. You know, I've been racing now for 23 years. And yeah, it's scary.
Still look good on it though.
Thank you, darling, thank you. It's one of those races you'll never forget. And you know, finding my way through from last to first is one of the most enjoyable moments of my life, fighting past Michael Schumacher, Mark Webber, Sebastian Vettel. I love some, you know, well, I actually pushed him off, but anyway, it's one of those races you never forget. But yesterday was the same for me. You know, I didn't win the race, but I was really enjoying my racing at the moment. And I think Formula One at the moment is in such a good place. And the racing this year has been phenomenal. So it's just good being a part of that. And hopefully we can spread to a bigger audience. Obviously we don't need to here, but hopefully we will do in the future. And you know, Formula One's just going to keep growing. Maybe we should get an Olympic Formula One race.
Right, next question. What is your most favourite moment out of Formula One? And since you've been about it, have you got the thing that sticks in the mind most? That was cool.
Oh. Wow, you know, it's probably better to try and think of the bad moments than the good ones, because there's probably less of them. But sorry, yes, I love Manchester. Yeah, and somebody asked me what my favourite circuit was, and it's definitely...
Oh, that's the next question. That's the next question.
Manchester City Deansgate Circuit. I'm the only one that knows it. But for me, getting into Formula One was a childhood dream, and you know, the first time that Frank Williams said to me, "You are going to be Ralf Schumacher's teammate. You're going to race in Formula One," and I got a little bit emotional, ran out of the room, and called my old man. and my mum, and that was for me one of the best moments ever of my life. So very special moment, and since then I've had ups and downs, but there's been a lot of highs that, you know, I need to thank a lot of people around me for, because you don't just win on your own, you win with a team, and I think this year we've had fun, haven't we?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so this year for me is, and winning the World Championship is amazing, but for me, I'm in the happiest I've ever been right now, so watch out.
Right. Now this is a family show, please. What do you normally do after a race?
Well, if you read the newspapers from a couple of years ago, my girlfriend's not here. She was here, she came to watch it this morning, and she's had to fly back home, which is very sad. She's away for 3 weeks, but anyway. Oh. Thank you very much. Anyway, sorry? No. I've forgotten the question now. What do I do after Grand Prix?
So normal race. I know we flew directly from Spa here last night, but after a Grand Prix normally, what do you do?
And I don't know if everyone here is from Manchester. Okay. And do you like football? Okay. I saw Arsenal leaving last night. People look very happy. I don't know why that was. Why is that? Why is that? What happened yesterday? 8-2, okay, wow. But after race, I normally just like chilling out. It's such a strange feeling after a race, especially after a good race, because you feel like you're going to go out and go crazy and party, but you don't, because it's such a come down, if you like. You know, the race is such a high, all the adrenaline, and suddenly you have this massive come down. So most of the time you just go to bed early. It's quite boring, really. But I remember Monaco 2009, winning there. That was basically 2 days of partying. I regretted it after, but there's certain races you really have to enjoy, because in Formula 1 these days it's so competitive. You know, having a teammate like Lewis, you know, who's so competitive. Yeah, it's big up for Lewis. But also having, you know, so many world champions in the sport and so many good teams to win a race, it's so difficult. So when you win, you've really got to enjoy yourself, and you should never take it for granted.
Right, next question. What is your favourite circuit, and why, Jenson? What is the favourite circuit you ran, apart from Manchester?
Yeah, favourite circuit, Silverstone's pretty special, yeah, I must say. The support we get there, whether we're you know, in a quick car or a slow car, you know, the support is amazing, and this year was phenomenal. So Silverstone for the atmosphere and everything is great. Other circuits I love Spa. You know, it's a great venue, and you know, the great thing is a lot of Brits came over for the race because it's quite close. I also like Suzuka. I got many reasons for liking Suzuka. One, because my girlfriend's Japanese. Also, I used to race for a Japanese team for many years. But it's also such a phenomenal place to race. It's unforgiving, and that's why I love it. And obviously Monaco. Monaco's crazy. You're racing around the streets. It's like 24 cars driving down the street here. It's just madness, really. And hopefully one day we'll do that. Manchester have been kind enough to let us do this today, so maybe they'll realise by how many fans are here that we need a Grand Prix here. What do you reckon?
I just want to talk about Silverstone because something's out the corner of my eye. The Vodafone VIP camper van is back.
Yes.
Now, you drove that to Silverstone last year with Lewis, didn't you?
We did. We tried to get it to, obviously, the speed limit of 70 miles an hour. And in doing so, it created an oil leak and started throwing smoke out the back. So we had to pull over and get it serviced before we finished our journey. But yeah, I love camper vans. I've got one myself, which is very similar to that. So yeah, I love my camper vans.
Yeah, right. Next question. What is the fastest time you have ever done? What's the fastest you've ever driven? I suppose speed-wise. Speed. Yeah.
About 230 miles an hour, 225, 230, in an F1 car at Monza. So that's what we're looking for next weekend, you know, high speed. I love the high speed. Oh, win obviously, yeah. But, there's no doubt, but you know, the high speed there is phenomenal. You can't really feel it, you know, how quick you're going until something happens. You know, you hit something. That's when it hurts, but you realise the speed you're doing. But these things are phenomenal. I mean, the straight line speed performance is great, but it's more the way that it corners in a high-speed corner. And obviously we don't have that here, but like Eau Rouge at Spa, you know, the speed we go through there, we're putting 5G, lateral G, and it's just amazing. You know, you just chuckle to yourself the whole time, which is quite funny because this guy's actual nickname is Chuckles, so that fits in quite well.
Thank you, mate. Right. No, I won't embarrass you. No, anyway, I've got one more question. A lot of people have asked this today for some reason. Do you like cooking? And what's your favourite food?
I like cooking.
Yeah. I know Manchester
really.
must be a bit of a foodie culture as well, because it's about 4 or 5 people have asked me to ask you the question today. Do you like cooking and what's your favourite food? No, none, no.
Well, I was tweeting last week. I don't know if any of you guys follow me on Twitter, but I was tweeting. Wow. Okay. I was tweeting last week at the factory. I don't know if you saw.
No.
At the MTC, and I was asking what people wanted to see at the factory, and we had 3 things that people came back with. What the most wanted, they wanted to see were Ron's office, Ron Dennis, which I was actually in, but I wasn't brave enough to pull the camera out. The other one was the simulator, and the third one was the toilets. What's that all about? And cooking's almost as bad as that.
I don't know, I'm just asking the question.
I'm not a great chef. I mean, I can rustle up a spaghetti bolognese. I'm actually very good at making spaghetti bolognese or chili. My freezer is full of chili, basically, because that's the only thing I can do. And I do it all fresh as well, so
Not microwave?
No, no microwave. I don't have a microwave. But for me, my favourite food is Japanese food. And, it's not just sushi, it's not just the posh version of Japanese food. It's the noodles and it's the soups and that sort of stuff. And that's also a good diet for me when I'm racing, because it keeps my weight down. Because I'm quite tall, I've got to be light. You guys, for some reason, keep building a car that's really heavy. So I'm not able to eat or anything or drink before a race.
Right, now, Monza, next race. I can't believe it, last European race in 2 weeks' time, and then we go into 6 flyways. What are the races that you're looking forward to the most out of the remainder we've got to go?
Monza, because it's next. I think this weekend as a team, it was a tough weekend, but we had a great car this weekend. We had such a good chance of winning, and in qualifying Q1, I was a second quicker than anyone, and we were so excited, and then it all just went a bit downhill after that. Misunderstanding with my engineer, but it happens. I think we made up for it yesterday, but we should be winning, man. We're so quick at the moment, and we will win in Monza, so I'm confident of that. So it's all or nothing.
Well, we want to see certainly yourself and Lewis up there on the podium as well. I want just to say thank you, Jenson, for being here, and also thanks to Vodafone and Vodafone VIP for putting on, I think, I hope you agree, has been a fantastic experience here today. Jenson, I know you might want to say thanks to Vodafone and everybody that's been here. So,
finally, obviously, big thank you to Vodafone. As you can say, it's everywhere around the city right now. So thank you to them for inviting me to come along to try and please the crowd. And I want to say thank you to you lot as well for coming out and making this such a special event. So speak it up for Manchester.
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, let's raise the roof again for world champion Jenson Button. Well done.